Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another edition of Easy Cooking with Papa D at the train in Fordsburg, Johannesburg. Today I'm going to bring to you a classic South Indian dish which I very much enjoyed on my travels. Most of our fish curries are done differently, but I was just really taken by the flavors of the Madras fish curry. Let me run you through all the ingredients quickly. We've got some paprika here, dhana powder, fine salt. I've got a tamarind paste. Now when you buy your tamarind, for the old established cooks at home, you probably know this already, but for the newcomers, your tamarind would probably look like this when you buy it in the shop. All you'd need to do is cut it into a size of what you might require. This is about how much I've used to get a yield like that. And put it into boiling water and leave it. It will take a little while for the tamarind to soften out. And then obviously once it's done, you'll get that flavor, that texture, but then you'll have to de-seed it and all the husks would also have to be removed. For the fish that I'm going to be using, I'm using king clip. I prefer boneless fish. If you like it the other way, you could use a fish of your choice. I prefer using a firm fish so that it doesn't fall apart during the cooking process. And then finally, we also use quite a bit of the jeeru powder in this dish. So let's get started. I'm going to start my gravy first. This meal is also prepared in two different preparations. I prepare my gravy separately and then I prepare my fish separately. This way your fish doesn't cook up and become totally mashed up in the meal. So to start off, let's start off with our veggies, and then while the gravy is cooking, we can obviously quickly do the fish. Bismillah. I'm going to be using these. Now these will obviously take a little longer to cook, but what I'm doing is I'm just slitting them into four. I want to retain them as whole little brandules in the meal. So I'm just using a few of them here. So that's probably your one ingredient that'll probably take the longest to cook. So that's why I want to start off with this one. So while we're putting the rest of the ingredients in, these can already start cooking. So for now, I've just got that ready, and I'm going to put my brandules in. Now with that, I'll put my onions, which obviously also need more cooking than the other ingredients. And then my green chilies. And if you must, then obviously you could use, de-seed them and just use them without the seeds. All right, to that, I'm going to add my sliced tomatoes. I'll add in my tomato puree. I'm going to start adding my spices now, starting with the jeeru. I'm using quite a generous helping, you'll notice, of jeeru. The crushed garlic, also using quite a bit of it here. Crushed garlic. Some turmeric. My dhana powder. Not too much. Some salt. And of course the paprika. If you want your curry to be a bit stronger, I prefer using the Kashmiri red chili, which is also a nice color and also quite pungent. To this, I'm going to add my curry leaves so they can also soften. And let that cook away. At this point, I'm going to add some water to the dish. So in the meantime, I'll add a little more water. That'll help all the other ingredients to soften, the tomatoes, the onions, and most especially the brinjals. Now while this is cooking, I just want to add one more of the ingredients to this. I'll leave the tamarind for the very end, but at this point I'm going to add in my ginger garlic paste. Also, I didn't put this in too early because I don't want it to burn out. You'll notice the nice texture and the aroma is just amazing. There we are. I'm starting now with my fish. I've used a piece of king clip here which has been deboned and filleted. As I said, if you want to use a different fish you could, but I prefer using a firm fish. And then also I'm not cutting them up too small. I cut them in about 1.5 to 2 inch cubes. Before I fry them, I'm just going to dust them in the flour. I'm going to move this onto the back burner. You can see the aubergines are already softening. So by the time this water dries up, it'll be just perfect. I'm going to move this onto the back burner now. So that I can now start with my fish. I'm going to add some ghee, not too much, and just a little bit of oil. Preheat it a little bit. And now I can add my fish. To this, I'm going to add some curry leaves again. A little bit more fine jiru and a little bit more garlic. The fish cooks very quickly. It's already browning quite nicely. At this point, it's halfway cooked through. I will still be cooking it for a while in the gravy. So I'm going to remove it from the fire now. Bring back My aubergines have softened, as you can see. The water is almost burnt out. Now I'm going to add in my tamarind sauce. I want that sourness in this dish, so I'm using it quite generously. You'll notice the change in the color now. It's become more brownish. I don't want to put the fish in until my gravy is completely ready. I'll add in, just to balance those flavors, just about half a spoon of brown sugar and a little bit more salt. There we are. You'll notice the texture is nice. There's still some roughage from the onion because I didn't cook it through fully. The aubergines have now softened. The tomato has softened. And we're ready to add our fish. I'm now going to add the fish in. You'll notice the garlic is also braised nicely. So it gives it a little bit of a tarka, if you might call it that, with the ghee. Here we go. So our fish curry, Madras fish curry, is ready now. And we're going to serve it with white rice and fried onions with a little bit of a ghee tarka on the top. So here we have it, our Madras fish curry served with white rice. I used basmati, I prefer that, but obviously if you want to try other rice, it's your call. And then I've topped it with fried onions and drizzled it with some ghee. With the heat of the rice, you'll find the ghee going right through the rice and you'll get that nice flavor throughout the rice. I'm going to be serving this meal today with another interesting juice. I'll be using oranges, beetroot, and ginger. You can already see the combination where it's going to. So this machine is so fast, I'm going to put all my ingredients together and then turn the machine on. I'm just chopping it up. As I said, you don't really need to do this because this machine is powerful enough to do this. But I'm just going to add that. I'm adding a little bit of the beetroot. My jug is ready. And I'm going to now start up my machine. As you can see, it is so quick. And now we can have our orange, beetroot, and ginger juice. See the beautiful color? So it's not just the normal orangey color. The beetroot is actually giving it a beautiful melon sort of color. So here we have our orange, beetroot, and ginger juice. And it's a nice creamy juice. Enjoy. So until we meet again, from me at Papa D's, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.